Welcome back to the Marion General Hospital pregame show. Now time to catch up with the head men's basketball coach here at Taylor University, Josh Andrews, before their first Crossroads League game tonight against the Pilots of Bethel. Taylor comes in with a 2-5 overall record, winning their most recent timeout last Thursday, putting over 100 points on the board against Wright State Lake. You guys have had a lot of time off in between that game with Wright State Lake up until tonight. What have you and the team worked on?
It's been good to have just a little bit of a breather. It was a good win for us. It's been a scrappy team that played some teams tough, so it was nice to protect our home floor. We got a little bit of time together and rest, and then we've had some Taylor basketball focused practices, which have been, I think, really beneficial. Just detail items inside of how we defend or how we want to execute, and just giving us some time together. We've just really run through it in terms of amount of games played in a limited number of days. And so I think it's really healthy for the guys. We feel like our guys are on the same page in terms of how we want to execute and how we need to defend tonight. So the time was good for us.
What were some of the positives that came out of last Thursday's win over Wright State Lake? Obviously, winning is always great. It's always better to learn after a win. What did you take away as some of the things that it seems like the team might be starting to turn the corner right now?
A couple of these items are just very coachish, but we had a early game loose ball that we've got, our leading scorer diving Pete Rose style to get hands on, and then a sophomore follows suit and goes after the same ball, James McLeod, and that's what you really, at the end of the day, if you've got that going on, you got something good happening. These guys care, they want to win, they're working at it, they're great guys. We had different guys perform well last Thursday. James McLeod's really emerging as a guy that can affect both ends of the floor, and his roommate Vince Miranda is shooting it in and making big plays for us off the bench. And we've just got different guys contributing. We're still trying to find that rotation, and the rhythm is what I've told you multiple times. And we are a rhythm team. So an opponent wants to disrupt our rhythm. We've got to fight to stay in rhythm, and that's happening more and more. I also thought in that game we found some execution pieces or elements that have been missing. Good to see our group have 20 assisted scores.
Your shooting has been not where it has been in the past in these first 7 games of the season, but it's not like they've been terrible misses every time outside of that Northwestern Ohio game. Does it seem like the team is just about to just explode and just have one of these big shooting nights like we've seen you have in the past? Can you kind of feel it? Maybe this might be the night tonight?
Yeah, I'd be okay if it's tonight, if that's how this works out, Rick. Hey, we think shooting the basketball is a major strength of ours. And my gut is that the opponent knows that as well. So they're trying to affect that. And our guys have just been, we had a horrible start to the year in terms of making shots and just shooting them with confidence. Whatever blame or ownership I can take in terms of system adjustments and things that way, I would tell you we just need some time together, and our guys are getting on the same page, and we want to put them in spots to feature their skill sets. And we got a lot of guys that can catch and shoot. We got guys that can rip and make plays. We got plenty of multi-dimensional players. And for whatever reason, this team, I think, will need all 30 games to create the best version of this group. We want to play our best basketball at the end of the season. We got to pile up some wins as we go, though. So shooting the basketball in covers a lot of ills along the way. The silver lining in the clouds here for us is that it has forced our guys to pay attention to the things they can control. And we've defended better. We've paid attention to scouts. And we're doing some little things well as a team, and I'm very proud of them for that.
As it's been the tradition ever since you and I have been here, you get to open up with Bethel right before Thanksgiving. When you guys were here 2 years ago against Bethel, the place came unglued as Evan Crow carried you guys back to an overtime win, and what ended up being Mike Lightfoot's last season at Bethel. His son Ryan, now in his second year at Bethel. They don't have Gage Ott anymore, who's just a terror down low, but they bring back a lot of experienced guys, and they also have Trevion Cruz, who has lit the Crossroads League on fire in his first season at Bethel. What makes Bethel so dangerous coming in with an 8-1 record?
They play like they're 8-1. They sense it and they feel it. We're impressed watching them with the maturity they play with, the discipline they play with, the togetherness. They've got a lot of traits of a winning program and of a winning team. So we expect them to play well tonight. They're not giving us anything. They expect to come down here and play well. So we've got to earn everything we get. And they're a balanced team where it's going to come down to execution and making the ball bounce our way. By doing the right thing. So we expect a great battle tonight.
Josh, thanks for the time, and good luck in the league opener against Bethel.
Yeah, we appreciate it, Rick. Thank you.
That is Josh Andrews, the Taylor men's basketball head coach, joining us here on the Marion General Hospital pregame show. We're back with the starting lineups right after this. Jody Martin.
Oral Arena for tonight's Crossroads League opener between the Bethel Pirates and your Taylor Trojans. As a champions of character institution, Taylor University asks each of you to embrace the NAIA's 5 core character values of respect, integrity, responsibility, sportsmanship, and servant leadership to create a positive environment throughout tonight's contest. As we have already observed the national anthem prior to tonight's women's game, we will not play it prior to this second contest. So now for tonight's starting lineups. First, for the visitors from Bethel. At guard, 6'1" senior from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 1, Covington. At guard, 6' sophomore from Fort Wayne, Indiana, number 3, Travion Cruz. At guard, 6'3" senior from Granger, Indiana, number 4, Ryan Ness. At 4, 6'8" senior from Pittsburgh, Ohio, number 31, Luke Fisher. And at 4, 6'8" senior from Trevesco, Indiana, number 43, Paul Thornton. The Pirates are coached by Ryan Lightfoot, who's assisted by Alex Lee and Andrew Sharps. And now, fans, get on your feet for the starting line for your Taylor Trojans. At call, the 5'10" junior from Hamilton, Ohio, number 13, Ryan Robinson. At guard, the 6'1" junior from Tipton, Indiana, 15, Mr. Degenkolb. At forward, a 6'5" freshman from Miamisburg, Ohio, number 24, Jason Hubbard. At forward, a 6'7" senior from Wheaton, Illinois, number 25, Jake Heckley. And finally, at forward, a 6'4" sophomore from Lawrence, Indiana, number 31, James McLeod. Your Trojans are coached by Josh Andrews. He's assisted by Glenn Dow and Miles.
So here we go, game 2 of our pre-Thanksgiving doubleheader. The Bethel women knocked off and upset number 19, the Taylor women, in our earlier game tonight. Taylor's men's team hoping to get an upset here against number 23, Bethel. The Pilots come in with an 8-1 overall record. Their only blemish was the number 2 IU East this past Saturday when they fell 79-72. Taylor's last game last Thursday, a 105-58 win over Wright State Lake. Paul Foreman and Jake Hagelin will jump. Hagelin taps it into the air. Fisher got his hand on it. It's knocked around and then finally corralled by James McLeod in the backcourt. Taylor goes from left to right in white. Ryan Robinson will be defended by Travion Cruz, who's been the talk of the league in his first season at Bethel this year. They go right to Hagelin to the Trojans. He goes right around Foreman, and Foreman whistled for the foul on a bump 17 seconds in. First one on Bethel, first one against Foreman. And Foreman he is Fisher down low, but he lost his tag team partner in Gage Ott to graduation from a year ago. So it's been all Foreman loading those minutes as a post down low for Bethel this season. Robinson high left side, around the screen comes Degenkolb. Free throw line jumper, his man fell down. Degenkolb hits the back of the rim, and it'll dance in for a field goal. Lutz came around the screen, lost his footing after initially trailing Degenkolb, and Taylor scores on their opening possession. They're up 2-0 here early on in the first. Cruz defended by the long Jason Hubbard. Cruz back to the trailing Luke Fisher. Driving in on McLeod. He had his shot blocked, and they get a blocking foul against Hubbard, and Taylor unhappy with the foul. The Trojan fans across from us looking for a travel on the big man, Luke Fisher. They will not get it. The foul on the freshman, Hubbard, his first, and the team's first. Fisher, a 6'8 senior, 215 pounds, out of Archbold, Ohio. And his first one is perfect. 2-1, the Taylor lead. Second free throw still to come here from Fisher. Fisher, a 73% free throw shooter. He cans both, and our game dead even at 2. Taylor from left to right in white. Bethel defends in the all blue with white numbers and white letters trimmed in gray. The Trojan numbers and letters are in purple. Hagelin left side high, far sideline to Robinson. Hagelin sets that screen. Degenkolb around the arc, near side to Hubbard. He'll fire a three over Fisher. That's short off the near side rim. It dances off the top of the glass and is rebounded by Travion Cruz. Over to Covington, his backcourt mate. Transition three, pulls, misses, and then Hubbard will sky for it, tapped away from him by Foreman. And Bethel regroups out to the sharpshooter. Lutz, his three misses. A good box out there by James McLeod. And here comes Taylor the other way. Game deadlocked at 2. Near sideline, Degenkolb
Left-hand drive on Lutz, step back, fade away. Jay off the side of the rim, tapped out to Hagelin. He'll wrap it around to Hubbard, whose right-hand glasser is good from the left side of the rim. Hagelin drew the attention. He dished it around the defender Foreman, and Hubbard laid it in. It's a 4-2 Taylor advantage on baskets by Degenkolb, and now Hubbard. 140 into the opening half. Bethel from right to left in blue. Foreman, his hair long this year, held back by a white headband. He jets it out to Cruz, driving down the right side of the lane. He throws it over Fisher's head, who thought someone was behind him. And Fisher had that one sail by his left ear. And it goes out of bounds. Cruz had a nice drive and dish going, but the problem was that Fisher did not hold on, did not even make an attempt at it. First turnover from either side. Here comes Taylor the other way with a 2-point advantage as Fisher and Cruz try to guard Robinson to the backcourt. Taylor quickly to the front court, driving to the baseline right. Lutz cuts off Degenkolb with a heavy brace on that right knee. Here's Degenkolb against Hagelin against Foreman. Up top, Robinson fakes a three on Cruz, drives him into a Hagelin screen. Right-hand floater from the right side will miss off the glass, and Foreman will gather it in on a good look from Robinson. 17:44 remaining in half number one. Hubbard will defend Cruz around a Fisher screen. Cruz step back, up and under, floats a high one to Lutz on the far sideline. Bethel shooting on the basket to our right. Again, they're in blue, down 4-2. Fisher, left corner inside the arc with 12 to shoot. Quick ball movement here by the Pilots. Lutz pulls from 18 and swishes it from inside the left arc. First bucket for Lutz. And it's a game tied at 4 on the first field goal of the evening here for Bethel after missing their first two tries from the floor. Cruz guards Robinson, who bounces it off to McLeod. Near sideline, Degenkolb. Fisher comes the hedge on the screen. Degenkolb down the lane, dishes it off to Hagelin, who fumbled with it, got it back, laid it in. But the foul is called before Jake shot it. Foul on the floor. It's against Trayvon Covington, his first, and the second one against Bethel. Shot clock sets to 20 for the Trojans, who will get it in from the baseline left, with the electric Ryan Robinson to deal it in. A bounce to McLeod, a handoff to Robinson. Around Foreman, who hedged. He'll fire a three high left side. That one off target right. And Lutz will watch it bounce out of bounds as Robinson pulled the trigger from deep after running his man off of a screen. So Taylor 0 of 2 to start from three-point range. Same thing for Bethel. They are also 0 of 2. 4-4 score just over 3 minutes in. Bethel from right to left in blue. Taylor defends in white. Bethel comes in 8-1. Taylor 2-5 in the league here in the league opener tonight for both teams. They spin it to Fisher, far side, guarded by McLeod. Cruz off an off-ball screen, pulls up, right elbow shot, too strong off the back rim, and it's right to the hands of Ryan Robinson of Taylor. Trojans galloping to the front court from left to right, game tied at 4. Robinson down low to Hagelin, powers in, cut off by Foreman. The pass was tipped and intercepted by Cruz. Robinson gets back, Cruz will go right at him for a right-hand scooping layup, and there's Travion Cruz's first basket, and that gives Bethel their first lead at 6-4. Fisher applies pressure, backcourt, but Robinson will walk into the front after Fisher backs off. Cruz pulls up those blue shorts, defending Robinson. High middle screen set by McLeod. Robinson back to the left side. Hubbard to the high left side, and Degenkolb. Right side screen is taken by Degenkolb by Hagelin into the corner to a wide open Robinson three, which is perfect. First triple for Robinson. First three made by anyone in the ball game, and Taylor goes back up on top by 7-6. Just over 4 minutes into half number one. Cruz around a four-man screen into the corner. Covington wants a three, and he gets it from the left corner. Trayvon Covington buries his first three as the two teams trade long balls. And Bethel goes back on top by a deuce, 9-7. 4.5 minutes into the opening half. Robinson around a McLeod screen. Fisher guards him. Robinson floats it up high to Hagelin with Foreman defending him. High right side, Degenkolb slits the D, slips trying to get back to his feet, back to his knees. He'll bounce it out to McLeod. Hubbard is open, but they can't get it to him on the far sideline. 10 to shoot, now 9. Robinson trying to create himself. Now 8, off-balance floater, rattles in. 5 in a row for Ryan Robinson, and that knots our game at 9 on a nice individual play by Ryan Robinson with the shot clock dwindling. Bethel from right to left in blue. They're the 23rd ranked team in the land. The Trojans defend in white. Cruz all the way out near sideline, gets around Hubbard with the left hand, accelerating, and he goes in, and it's a blocking foul against Robinson as his heels were inside the arc. A good read there by Robinson to see Cruz, who was lightning quick, got around Hubbard on the perimeter left. And heels were inside the arc by Robinson, and that'll bring us to a media timeout. 14:57 remaining in the opening half. It's Taylor 9 and number 23 Bethel 9 here on the Trojan Sports Network. 2 subs in here for Bethel. Nick Pluta, who has taken off the samurai headband that he wore during pregame warm-ups. Had a good look on him. So Pluta in along with Kyle Hartman. Hartman began his college career at Huntington, another Crossroads League team. The Trojans have brought in 3 subs. 4 subs, actually. First one from Cruz. That's an air ball. Travion Cruz just airballed a free throw. He's an 88% free throw shooter. That's just his 6th miss from the line this year. He missed the second one as well. A rare empty trip for the spectacular Travion Cruz. Vincent Miranda comes in to run the point. Degenkolb, the only starter left out there, along with Emmanuel Boitin, Evan Crow, and C.J. Pena. Here comes Miranda, quick as a hiccup, or to the high right side, and Hartman. Dribbling away is Degenkolb with the right hand, fumbling with it and getting back as Hartman's right there in his shorts. Handoff near sideline. Crow fell out of bounds into Degenkolb, who was pushed out of bounds by Hartman, who disagrees with the call. First on Hartman, 3rd one against Bethel here in our opening half. That's his 3rd. Shot clock sets to 20 as Pena will get it in. Fisher will defend him. That's a 6'8 Fisher against the 6'7 C.J. Pena. Degenkolb straight on, defended by Hartman in the man-to-man. Drives in, Hartman almost ripped the ball away. Degenkolb got it back. Head up, one-hand whip, high left side. Miranda contested 3 over Cruz is long, and there's Pluta for the rebound. Taylor just 1 of 4 to start from 3. Covington spins away from the pesky Mason Degenkolb. 9-9 game after Cruz went empty on 2 free throws. Fisher bangs in. Will they get Emmanuel for the foul on the bump? They will. Foul will stay on the floor. First one on Emmanuel. And the 3rd one against Taylor here in the half. He has 1. Robinson with 1. And Hartman will get it in baseline left as Crow pogo sticks in front. They'll heave it all the way to the backcourt. And Covington will take 1 step across, and then he'll dribble across the timeline. Bethel from right to left in blue. Taylor defends man-to-man in white. Our game deadlocked at 9 in the Crossroads League opener for both teams. Covington, far sideline, Pluta, defended by Pena. Outside to Hartman with 4 to shoot. One-hand pocket pass to Cruz with 3. He'll try to back down, fading away from 15 feet. That shot is missed. Called in by C.J. Pena of Taylor. Taylor trying to take their 2nd lead of the night. They have the game tied at 9. Degenkolb runs into 3 defenders, and he turns it over, and Covington out and running. Miranda undercuts him. The ball knocked away, but they get Vincent for the reach-in against Taylor. Fourth foul against the Trojans. First one against the fleet-footed Miranda as Robinson returns for Taylor, replacing Degenkolb. Fisher gets his first break of the night as Foreman comes back in to replace him. So again, Foreman with the long hair this year, held down by that white headband, also has a sleeve on the right knee and a sleeve on the right elbow as well. Inbounds pass, spinning away from Boitin, gets physical, and he gets the lay-in as Foreman muscles in and then pirouettes away from Boitin for a chance at an and 1 on his first field goal. Good aggressive move there by Foreman, who again, as we mentioned, as Boitin comes in, or check out on his 2nd personal. Hegeland back in for TU. Ryan Lutz returns for Bethel. Covington and Cruz exits, and the other man to come in is whom? Jared Dehart, freshman from Trafalgar. 11-9 the Bethel lead as Foreman to the line to complete the and 1. Shoots and hits. 3 for Foreman. He's our leading scorer in the game, tied with Covington for Bethel, I should say. Robinson, the leading scorer in the game with 5. He's got the ball now as Hartman will shade him in the backcourt. Left side circle, Hegeland. Far sideline, Robinson. Right side screen set by Jake Foreman Hedges. High right side, Crow puts on the deck, got to the league logo, pivoting, looking for help. Now out to Hegeland outside the right block. 11 to shoot. Hegeland spins. Foreman gets big. Jake in trouble, flips it outside to Robinson with 7 to shoot. High middle screen, Pena with 5. Robinson contested 3. Right side arc will just miss off the rim, and Lutz will angle in and get the rebound away from Pena of Taylor. 7 minutes into the opening half, Bethel from right to left in blue. They lead by 3, 12-9. Hartman, 2 dribbles, and flips it off to Lutz, who will bounce inside the arc, right side to Foreman. Jabbing twice with his right hand, drives in with his left, hangs and glasses this one off. Hegeland almost had it. Pluta knocked it away, still loose on the floor, and Jake will pick it up off the parquet surface. Robinson out and galloping. Dehart defending him, a behind-the-back dribble as Robinson sets up the half-court set. Hedge from Pluta, near sideline Pena. Over the big man, Foreman. No, hits off the rim, and then it goes off the basket support. CJ and the rest of the Trojans have struggled to find their shot. CJ at 6'7" can stretch the defense, but he has struggled to find his three-point stroke here in the early going. Pluta exits, Luke Fisher back in for Bethel. So it's Fisher, Hartman, DeHart, Foreman, and Lutz. 3 of their 5 starters out there. They're starting backcourt of Covington and Cruz, getting a much-needed breather on the bench. 3-point lead for Bethel with the ball from right to left in blue. Taylor defends in white, man-to-man. Back to Foreman, left block, guarded by Hagelin. Foreman backs him down, cut off. And now outside the arc, the ball goes. Inside the arc, right side Fisher. Hand off to Lutz with 11. Contested 2 from just inside the arc, and Lutz will rainbow that one in, banging it in off the back of the rim. 4 for him. A quick little burst here from Bethel. They've scored 5 in a row, and they lead 14-9. Excuse me. DeHart defends Robinson just inside the timeline. Near sideline, Foreman trying to hedge, crossover to the right hand, Robinson. Hesitating, baseline right, fires one into traffic, tapped, intercepted by Hartman, trying to touch it away from Crow, who gets it back in. His pass to Miranda was deflected, and then Vincent comes away with it. Here comes Vincent accelerating. Hagelin, power move into Foreman, right-hand shot. No good as they'll wave it off for the charge as Foreman waited for Hagelin, who put that shoulder down and barreled right into Foreman. An easy call there for our officiating crew. First one on Jake, the 6th one against Taylor here in the opening half with 11:43 to go before halftime. Bethel, on the other hand, with just 3 fouls here in the first half so far. They are on a 5-0 run and lead 14-9, breaking open that 9-9 tie. Lutz, 3 are on a screen. Nope, short. Pena hauls in for a second rebound. Lutz, a dangerous 3-point shooter, is 0 for 2 to start. Miranda trying to go end-to-end on DeHart, stops on the block left. DeHart defends him and will fire it up top near the volleyball line to Robinson. Pena, a bounce to Hagelin. Foreman guards him. Here goes Hagelin. Left-hand hook over Foreman. Caught the back rim and goes in. First points for Hagelin, and Taylor stops the 5-0 run, and they draw to within 3, down 14-11, almost 9 minutes into the opening half. Fisher, high right side, around the arc, barrels into Hagelin, stops, a little hook shot, no, off. There's another rebound for Pena as he is just pulling down every miss tonight. Robinson accelerating, trying to go end-to-end. The scoop is good for the shifty Ryan Robinson. 7 for Robinson, and Taylor on a 4-0 burst, and they're to within 1. Down 14-13, almost halfway gone here in the opening stanza. Lutz to the mid-post right in Foreman, spinning baseline. Over that left shoulder, he travels with it as he couldn't get that pivot foot down. Good D from the big fella Hagelin, whose mom and dad and aunt and little brother are all in the stands across from us. 30-second timeout on the floor. Taken by whom? Who is taking this timeout? Who? Taylor has. We'll take it with them. 10:34 to go in the first. Taylor on a 4-0 run. They're to within 1. Thirty-second timeout taken by Taylor. They'll have the ball in the backcourt with 10:35 to go in the first half. Travion Cruz back in for the Pilots. Robinson double teamed in the corner, whips one around to Pena, still in the backcourt near sideline Miranda. Across the timeline, he accelerates. With Lutz defending him, Cruz almost deflected that pass away with his back to where the pass came from. High middle screen, Pena. Robinson takes mid-post right, Hagelin. Going right at Foreman, a little fake, trying to go up and under. Off-balance hook shot, missed. Foreman trying to get it away from Hagelin, who snatches it away with the right hand. Big offensive board for the Trojans as they try to regain the lead on a 4-0 burst, down 14-13. Halfway gone here in the first half. Hagelin, left side circle off to Robinson. Foreman hedges back to where it came from. Pena fakes and drives. He'll kick it out to Hubbard for a 3. Got it! Left side high, Hubbard, first triple. And it's a 7-0 run for Taylor. They go in front, 16-14. On a nice 3 from Hubbard. Hartman drives, back tapped away by Hubbard. He gets the ball off to Lutz in the near corner. Thought about giving off to Fisher. Right side circle Cruz around the arc to Hartman. Looking Foreman's way, they give it to him, block right. Man on one-on-one Hagelin, right hand hooked, baseline, good one from Foreman. He's got 5, and that ties our game at 16. As he into Hagelin's body, then spun to the baseline over that left shoulder and hooked it home with a right hand. Jake, top of the key, dribbling, picks it up, and will bounce off to Hubbard high left side. 16-16, 9:15 to go in the first. Hubbard almost put Lutz on skates, backed it up in a good recovery there from Lutz. Right side screen, Hagelin, Foreman, Hedges, Robinson. Denied a three from Cruz, who has now has tape on that right hand. Lutz almost took it away from Hubbard. He got it back to Pena. Three to shoot. Pena before the shot block expires. Oh, my goodness. That thing almost was in. Hubbard back taps to Miranda. Bulleting one to Hagelin. It's fumbled with as he and Foreman were jostling underneath the hoop. And it goes off of Jake's right foot and out of bounds. Pena took that one from the dining commons, and it almost went down. Vincent Miranda out. Degenkolb back in. Fisher and Hartman exit for Bethel. They bring back in Trayvon Covington and Nick Pluta. And James McLeod returns for Taylor, replacing Pena. So the Trojans have their 5 starters on the floor: McLeod, Hubbard, Robinson, Hagelin, Degenkolb. The only non-starter out there for Bethel is Pluta, Covington, Cruz, Foreman, and Lutz. Driving is Cruz. He'll get bumped by Hubbard as he tried to accelerate to the baseline right. That's the 7th one against Taylor, and more importantly for the Trojans, the 2nd one against one of their best wing defenders in Hubbard. That's Jason's 2nd, and the 7th one against Taylor in the first half. And Hubbard will have to go to the bench. He'll be replaced by Evan Crow. 16-16 our score. Cruz, second trip to the line. He's 0 for 2. He airballed the first one and then missed the second one, and now he misses the third one as that one bounced around. Normally a great free throw shooter, and Cruz is 0 for 3 tonight, and Lutz gets called for the reach-in as he almost poked the ball away from Crow's back. First on Lutz, the 4th one against Bethel. So the game's still knotted at 16 as Cruz is having a rare 0 for 3 night from the line, where he again comes in shooting well north of 80%. Robinson to the front court. High middle screen, McLeod back between the circles to Crow. Degenkolb runs and gets it on the high left side. Hagelin sets the screen for him. Down the lane, up top, McLeod pulls up, free throw line jumper, short off the front rim, and Cruz comes in and gets the rebound away. He'll accelerate again. He's the top defensive rebounder for Bethel. Lutz, a transition 3 right side, is perfect, and that is what Ryan Lutz does so well. He missed his first 2, caught that one in one swift motion, pulled the trigger and hit it from the high right side. 19-16 the lead for Bethel on their second made 3-point basket. Now Cruz steals it. He'll try to cross over Robinson, who steals the ball right back. Robinson up the middle of the floor. He'll stop. He'll pop to tie the game at 19. That one dies off the back rim. Long rebound comes out to Crow. Foreman tried to save it behind his back, but as he did, he stepped on the base on the sideline in front of his own bench. And that will bring us to a media timeout. 7:52 remaining in the opening half. A good one brewing here from Odell Arena. Taylor will have the ball out of the media timeout. They trail number 23 Bethel 19-16 here on the Trojan Sports Network. .52 remaining here in the opening half. Taylor with the ball out of the timeout. Bethel leads 19-16. Currently the Pilots shooting 50% from the field, 7 of 14. The Trojans 7 of 18 from the field. Each team has knocked down 2 3 tries. Taylor 2 of 9. Bethel 2 of 5. But the big difference right now, 3 of 6 on the line are the Pilots. Taylor has yet to get to the line tonight. Crow jabbing, pulling 3. Got it from the high right side. Beautiful triple from Evan Crow. And that ties our game at 19. And that could get Crow going at a moment's notice. 7:35 to go first half. Cruz Wanted to go to his right, gives off to Pluta. Now back to the right side of the floor, and the dangerous Trayvon Covington. Lutz hit a three the last time down the floor, misses a long two around the screen. It's rebounded by Robinson, and he'll gallop up the middle of the floor. Near sideline, Degenkolb faking, driving into the paint, trying to go up and under, outside to McLeod, then outside the arc, it goes far side to Crow. Mid-post left inside the arc, Hagelin, trying to get space on Foreman, backing him down right hand. Outside the arc to McLeod with 14 to shoot. Game tied at 19. Degenkolb drives, trying to give Taylor the lead, and does on a contested mid-range jumper from the left wing. Second bucket for Degenkolb, and Taylor regains a lead. 2 points, 21-19. Less than 7 to go here in half one. Foreman drives. Fade away, Jay from 5. Off target right. McLeod leapt into the air. Pluta should have been called for a reach, and that does not come as he had his hand on the ball. Robinson accelerating, scooping, back to Hagelin through contact, and almost got the roll. Nifty little find from Robinson, and Hagelin will go to the line for a pair. Foul on Foreman, that's his second. And again, with no Gage Ott, backup post rotation is limited to just Foreman and Fisher this year for Bethel. Ott was a beast, an animal, a bad, bad dude. First one from Hagelin. Perfect. So for Taylor fans, it's a breath of fresh air to not see Ott out there anymore. He had a game here, at least one, maybe two, as Fisher comes back in to replace Ott, where he was perfect from the floor. I think he went 10 of 10. He was just a load down low. Had great off-ball, great post moves. So Foreman and Pluta exit. Hagelin made the first. He makes the second. He's got 4. Excuse me. And C.J. Pena comes in. So Pena a little more mobile. He should be a little bit better to combat the fleet-footed Fisher. But the 2 free throws from Jake has given Taylor a 5-point lead. They are currently on an 8-0 run, all sparked by that 3-point try from Crow that tied the game at 19. Biggest lead for Taylor tonight is at 4. It's right now with 6:35 to go in half one. Hartman back in for Bethel. Robinson defends him, perimeter left. Right side screen, Fisher. He'll get it back mid-post left against Pena. Spins. He got away. Reverse layup. And they'll wave it off as Fisher traveled with it on the mid-post left. Pena got his hands in the air, but gave a little bit of space to Fisher. But Fisher traveled with it. From our vantage point, I thought it was a good move there from Fisher. 4th turnover by Bethel. Taylor with 5, and now with an opportunity to continue to build on this 8-0 burst. Robinson, double-team backcourt, long pass to the near sideline across the timeline to Degenkolb, who also picks up his rebound, off to McLeod, then a little flip to the trailing Robinson. McLeod turns, Fisher guards him. Robinson pops out far sideline, off-ball foul called against Bethel, as Crow and Robinson were cutting in the same space. Foul on Trayvon Covington, his second for Bethel, and there's number 6 against Bethel in the first half. And jogging to the scorer's table as Covington will exit. He'll be replaced by Dominic Jenko. Dominic, a sophomore out of Zionsville, Indiana. That's a tough one for Bethel to take. One of their top 2 scorers in Covington and Foreman, both out with 2 personal fouls. We'll see if Taylor can capitalize on it on an 8-0 run. They lead by 4. Degenkolb drives out to Crow. Has 1 through tonight, puts on the deck. Left hand pull up. That one was blocked, and it's pulled off the baseline on an air ball by Cruz of Bethel. He's been quiet tonight with just 2 points. He'll try to take Crow off the bounce. Out to Lutz, who's been hot from 3, and that continues as that one didn't even hit the rim. After missing his first 2 threes, Lutz has hit his last 2. He's our first double-figure scorer with 10. He has been carrying the weight for Bethel offensively in the first half. He has 10 of their 22, and just like that, looks like they've taken a point off the board. So Taylor just a 1-point lead at 23-22, but an opportunity here to get it back to 24 on the foul. On the second foul on Ryan Lutz. So there's your best 3-point shooter, Lutz with 2 personals. Covington, they're one of their best scorers with 2, and their best big man Foreman, all with 2 here in the first half. And so Lutz will have to go to the bench with 5:32 to go in the first, and DeHart comes back in for Bethel. Taylor with just 2 men with 2 fouls, Hubbard and Boatin. They've both been on the bench for the last handful of moments. McLeod to the line for a 1-and-1, and the first one is good for James. Push the Taylor lead back to 2. James, an 82% free throw shooter this season. Makes the first, and he will just miss the second. Left it short off the front rim. And Taylor up by a deuce, 24-22. Jenko takes the handoff, his first action of the contest. They give it into Cruz, who'll try to go against the bigger Crow. Cruz step, contested fadeaway jumper, rattled halfway in and battled out, bounced out, but no one guarded Hartman, who reverses a layup from the left side. That one looked to be halfway in and out. That game ties the game at 24. As now the double team between Fisher and DeHart give Degenkolb pressure in the backcourt. McLeod, wide open, Crow, 3-ball, bang, in front of the Bethel bench. So Crow starts 2 of 2 from distance, and Taylor goes in front by 3, 27-24. Could this be the breakout game for Evan Crow from long range tonight? Cruz, a one-hand pocket to Fisher, 15-footer right wing, air ball. Hartman knifes his way in for another offensive rebound in as many possessions. 13 to shoot as the ball didn't hit the rim, now down to 10. Left side screen from Fisher. Cruz will take it. Back to the right side. Hartman fumbling with it with 6. With 5, he goes in. Degenkolb got him on a push against Mason Degenkolb on the block. Mason can't believe it. He had his arms in the air. The Taylor fans violently upset across from us, or very upset from us, I should say. First one on Mason, the 8th one against Taylor. No violent anger, just very angry. Different V's. And a timeout, full timeout taken by the Trojans before the free throws up come here for Bethel. 4:31 to go in the opening half. Taylor leading by 3 over number 23 Bethel. 27-24 here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Greek's Pizzeria in Upland opened its doors in December of 2017. Over the years, there have been more than 140 Greeks opened across the country, with 24 Indiana locations. When it comes to pizza, Greeks offers customers the option to create their own pizza or to try one of Greek's specialized pizzas. Greeks uses fresh, homemade, hand-tossed dough, Greek's Italian sauce, select blended cheeses, gourmet toppings, and the same method of preparation since the first restaurant opened in 1969. The kitchen can also whip up a sandwich served on fresh French-style bread, or can put that sandwich into a pizza shell wrap. Customers can also add breadsticks or French-style bread as a side item. Greeks also offers a selection of salads and assorted dressings as well. Greeks is located just off Main Street in Upland and is a proud supporter of Taylor University Athletics. Greek's Pizzeria. It's our taste.
Free throws upcoming for Bethel out of the Taylor full timeout. They have a 30 and 3 fulls left. Bethel is yet to use a timeout. They have their full complement of timeouts, 4 fulls and the 2 30s. Hartman to the line for a 1-and-1. Nobody down there for Bethel to try to get the miss if Hartman would miss, but he doesn't. And the first one is good off the back of the rim. 3 points for Kyle Hartman, who's come up with 2 big offensive rebounds on the last 2 possessions for the Pilots. Misses that one short and rebounded by Evan Crow. So Bethel tonight, 4 of 7, including 3 misses in a row by one of their best free throw shooters in Travion Cruz. 2-point lead for Taylor, 27-25, almost 4 minutes to go here in the first half. Pena got late to set the screen, but thankfully didn't get called for a moving screen. Degenkolb dribbling, being double-teamed, picks it up and gives off to Robinson. 8 to shoot. Near sideline, Miranda, who came in during the timeout. He'll spin, beautifully stop. His pass intended for Degenkolb was intercepted by Cruz. An opportunity to tie or take the lead for Bethel. Hartman into Degenkolb, missed it high. Cruz there for the offensive rebound. His putback is missed, and Degenkolb hauls the miss down with 2 hands. Still a 2-point Taylor lead. Degenkolb accelerates. Robinson thought about a 3. He'll cross over to his right hand. He'll flip it in. Off the glass for 2 for Ryan Robinson. 9 for the shifty Ryan Robinson, and Taylor takes a 4-point lead back at 29-25. Almost 3:30 remaining before halftime. Hartman gets the right side screen from Cruz. Crow switches to him. Now Cruz will try to back down the smaller Miranda. Gets in mid-post left. Nice big step and air ball. Pena will fight away from Fisher, and the foul will go against Luke Fisher, and that's his first and the 8th one against Bethel in the opening half. And not only do they have 8 personal fouls, they've come against some of their 3 best players. Covington, Lutz, Foreman. Foreman, their best big man. Covington, one of their best guard scorers. And Lutz, their best 3-point shooter, have all been settled on the bench for the last handful of minutes. 2 personal fouls each. And here's the freshman, C.J. Pena. 6'7", 6'6" from Pickerington. Entire family over to our left. Mom with a cell phone out. Recording her baby boy's free throw. The first one. Skips off the rim, no good. Still a 4-point Taylor lead. Both teams have left some points at the free throw line tonight. Taylor just missed their second freebie. Hartman got into the paint. Right side perimeter to Cruz. Hartman sets that screen. He'll get it back from Cruz. Driving baseline right. Got into the paint. Circus try. Out to DeHart. Left wing three. Nope. And Pena with a man's rebound as he hauled that in with a right hand. Pena all over the glass. Now here's Robinson into contact. Up and an air ball. Weak side rebound is Jenkos of Bethel. Less than 3 to go in the opening half. Both teams have come up quietly. Fisher transition. Layup is good as Crow fouled him on the reverse layup with the left hand. First field goal for Fisher. He's got 4. An opportunity to make it a 1-point game with the Fisher free throw. Jenko out. Covington coming back in for Bethel with the 2 personals. Pena exits. Hagelin back in. McLeod back in for Taylor. He'll take the spot of Evan Crow. We'll reset the lineups after the and 1 try from Fisher. He's 2 of 2 from the line tonight. Bethel is a team at just 50%. They came in at 72% from the line this season. And Fisher will miss the free throw. An uncharacteristic miss. A lot here by the Pilots. They have left 5 points on the line tonight, and 3 have come from their best free throw shooter in Cruz. 2-point Taylor lead. Hagelin wants to body against Fisher. Got into the paint. Cloud quickly off to Degenkolb, left side circle. Right side screen, Hagelin. Degenkolb down the right side of the lane, cut off by Fisher. Wraps it down low to Hagelin, who puts it right in front of the hoop. 6 for Jake, and Taylor up by 4. Bethel quickly the other way. Cruz, high right side, near side to DeHart. High middle screen, Fisher. Robinson fights around it, back to Fisher. He'll pass with 3. Covington sets those feet, left wing 3 short. Hagelin boxing out Fisher, and it's rebounded here by Degenkolb. Far sideline, read it perfectly as Cruz. He goes in for an uncontested right-handed layup. Bad pass from Degenkolb. He telegraphed it the whole way, and Cruz, quick as a hiccup, pounced on that ball and went in for the easy uncontested lay-in. 2-point Taylor lead. Robinson. Miranda wants to make it 5 and does, rattling in a corner 3. First trouble for Miranda, his first points. And a good answer after the bad turnover. Taylor back in front by 5 on Miranda's triple. 5th 3 of the night for TU. They're 5 of 12. Covington traveled with it as he hopped, trying to back down the smaller Degenkolb. Turnover number 5 of the opening half for Bethel. Taylor with 7. Jason Hubbard back in. He replaces Robinson. Jason has to be careful. He's playing with 2 personal fouls. Pluta back in for Bethel. He replaces DeHart. Miranda angling in, calls out the plays. He walks across the purple Trojan midcourt. He's out there with McLeod, Degenkolb, Hagelin, and Hubbard. Pluta trying to defend Hagelin on a mismatch. Hubbard around the arc, left side high, Degenkolb, right side screen, Hagelin. Knocked out of his hands is Degenkolb by Hartman. Another turnover for the Trojans. 80 seconds to go in the opening half. Here comes Bethel the other way, down 5. Hartman outside to Pluta. He wants a deep 3 from straight on. That one hits hard off the front rim, and Degenkolb fights it away from Fisher. He'll race up the floor. He's got blue jerseys back. Degenkolb doesn't care. He throws it up. And a blocking foul against Pluta. That was going to be a tough play for Mason to make as he was flying in like a runaway train up the left sideline, and he went between the 2 Bethel defenders. 9th foul against Bethel, and the first one against Pluta. And here's Degenkolb to the line for a pair. Mason, an 85% free throw shooter on the season, as some boos rain out from the Bethel faithful. First one from Mason, good. He's got 5 first half points. Robinson will come in if Mason can make the second freebie. The Bethel fans continue to voice their displeasure with the foul call. Degenkolb makes both. He's got 6, and Robinson comes in to replace him. 68 seconds to go here in the opening half. Taylor with their largest lead of the night at 7. They're up 36-29. It's Cruz, Fisher, Pluta, Covington, and Hartman out there for Bethel, with some of their top players saddled with foul trouble, mainly Foreman and Lutz. Covington back out there with 2 as well. Back to Cruz, right side, driving in a right side arc. Hubbard defends him, got to the baseline as Cruz tiptoes. Near sideline, Covington trying to spin away from Miranda. He goes up for a contested right-handed layup from the left side of the rim, up and over Hagelin. 7 for Covington, and Taylor's lead down to 5. Robinson runs away from Fisher, now feels Fisher on his back and stops and tries to draw the charge. Fisher driving, make it. Robinson scoops up from the side. Hagelin tried to scoop it in with one motion, and they get Jake for the over the back as he went flying in from the left side of the floor. Second one on Jake, 10th one against Taylor in the half. As Robinson huddles up his mates just inside the timeline. Jake tried to come in. He saw there might be a miss. He tried to fly in and catch the miss and put it back in. And here's Kyle Hartman to the line for 2. As Taylor that's puts Bethel in the double bonus. Hartman Just a 47% free throw shooter this season. The first one, way long. You could tell it when it left his hand. Dominic Jenko in to replace Covington with 36 seconds left in the half. Hagelin out, Pena back in. That's the 6th miss from the line tonight by Bethel. They're 4 of 10. 6 3/10 of a second. Miranda, Coach Andrews trying to get the attention of Miranda. He didn't hear him. Hartman will miss the second freebie, and Hubbard will soar in for the miss. 1 for 4 is Hartman from the line tonight. He made his first one. He's missed his last 3. Taylor with the ball in a 5-point lead, 5 seconds between the clocks. Fisher cuts off Hubbard, steps into the corner. The ball goes to Miranda. Faking, trying to cross over Jenko, trying to get baseline left, could not. Pena to Hubbard with 12 to shoot. Hubbard will take it himself right against Fisher. He drives in, right-hand scoop will just dance off the back of the rim. Pluta gets, and here comes Jenko accelerating. Shot clock turned off. Jenko goes in on McLeod. He got into the air, and Taylor will be called for a bump, and that will draw disagreement from the Taylor faithful across from us. Foul on James McLeod, his first. A 2-shot trip up here for whom? It'll be Dominic Jenko with Bethel's deficit at 5. The first one, nope, barely got to the front rim. Free throw shooting has been an issue tonight for Bethel. They are a 72% free throw shooting team, and they have been miserable tonight from the line. And Jenko just 55%. Missed the first one, and he'll make the second one. His first point. It's a 4-point Taylor lead with 6 seconds left to go in the half. Robinson trying to go end-to-end. Far sideline, Miranda 3. Just off the left side of the rim. Jenko gets it, heaves up, that won't even make it to the other side of the floor. Good half for the Trojans. They go into the break, leading number 23 Bethel by 4, 36-32 here on the Trojan Sports Network. And just like we did during the women's game, we will show you tonight's halftime performance by world-famous ball handler Tanya Crevier. But because of us being on YouTube, we don't want to have our broadcast shut down because of copyright reasons due to the music. We will show it with no audio. So here's Tanya.
The decision you're making is about so much more than where you'll spend the next 4 years. It's about how you'll live the next 40. So let me break down the Taylor University experience. We integrate faith and learning to become well-rounded, lifelong learners, while delivering a deeper knowledge of our specific areas of study. Whether you're producing award-winning films, building satellites for NASA, or preparing for a national ethics debate, Taylor will push you to excel in your field. But excellence isn't always about having the right answers. Sometimes it's about asking the right questions. Taylor is interdenominational. That means we can't always fall back on specific church doctrine to settle issues. We rely on Scripture and the dynamic nature of iron sharpening iron to better know the God who's not afraid of our question. Much of this happens in the small town of Upland, Indiana, the place where Taylor does life together. But don't let this small town fool you. The schedule is packed with things to do, and through these activities, faculty, staff, and students become more than individuals occupying the same address. They become a community. But this community isn't limited to the campus. We travel, boy do we travel. We are ranked as one of the top 10 schools in the country for overseas experiences. But it isn't just about the going. It's about the sharing of those experiences and being challenged by those who come to Upland as their international experience. Taylor is one of a few Christian colleges that expects all students to have a relationship with Jesus Christ. Now, this doesn't mean Taylor is a Christian Disneyland, full of cardboard cutout perfection. Taylor is full of real people with real problems, and living together can get kind of messy. But in that mess, we take Jesus' call from John 13 seriously. We practice picking up our towel and dealing with the mess in each other's lives. We're not here just to follow the rules for 4 years. Instead, we hope to learn to live authentic lives, calling each other to lives of meaning. Every day, our focus remains on the 40, not just the 4. We'd love to show you more about Taylor. Come visit, sit in on a class, go to chapel, spend a night in a residence hall. Experience the difference for yourself.
Back here at the half, this is the BSN Sports Halftime Report at the break. Taylor leads number 23 Bethel by a score of 36-32. The Trojans shot 45% from the floor in that first half. They were 39% from three, making 5 of their 13 tries. And they were 5 of 7 from the line. Bethel, meanwhile, the story of the first half, they shot the ball reasonably well at 41%, and not the best. They were 3 of 9 from three, and they got a couple clutch threes from from Ryan Lutz. But their big issue, they only hit 5 of their 13 threes. They left 8 free throws 8 points at the line. They came in as a 72% free throw shooting team. They were at 38.5% in that first half, including an 0 for 3 trip from one of their better free throw shooters, Travion Cruz, who came in at 88%. He was 0 for 3 in that first half from the line. The other big story in the first half for Bethel was foul trouble. Their top postman, Paul Foreman, Trayvon Covington, one of their top guards, and Ryan Lutz, their top three-point shooter, all saddled with two personal fouls in that first half. Foreman played just 12 minutes. Covington played just 11 and a half. Lutz was the only double-figure scorer in the first half. He had 10 points. Foreman and Covington each with 5. Fisher and Cruz each with 4. Hartman with 3, and Jenko with 1, as the Trojan bench outscored the Bethel bench 9-4. Taylor was led by their leading scorer, Ryan Robinson, who had 9 on 4 of 10 shooting. Hagelin 6, Degenkolb 6, Crow with 6 off the bench, Hubbard with 5, Miranda with 3, McLeod with 1, and Boatin and Pena each played, but did not score in that opening half. But CJ did pull down a game-high 6 rebounds. Trevion Cruz, the leading rebounder for the Pilots. Taylor also turned it over 8 times in that first half, 3 apiece from Hagelin and Degenkolb, and Cruz had 4 steals to go along with his 4 points and 3 assists. Starting fives back out there for each respective side. For Taylor, it's Hubbard, McLeod, Degenkolb, Hagelin, and Robinson. For Bethel, it's Cruz, Fisher, Foreman, Covington, and Lutz. Foreman, high right side, will hand off to Lutz. Around the screen, left-hand dribble to the far sideline, and Cruz defended by Hubbard. Out top to Covington, has 1 3 tonight. Will not get 2 as that one spins off the rim. He's just 1 for 4. So Bethel empty on their opening possession. Taylor from right to left and white. Robinson had a 9 in the first half. Far corner, catch and shoot 3. Hubbard. That one long, and so the two teams trade missed threes on their opening possessions of this second half. Fisher trails. He'll set his feet and fire from 3. That one short, and Hubbard will high point the ball and haul in the miss. Fisher's first try from 3 empty. Bethel 3 of 9, or 3 of 10 from the 3-point line. Robinson's pass intercepted by Cruz. He goes in. McLeod knifing at it, and Cruz lays it in as he got fouled as Robinson undercut him. I thought they might get James on the reach-in on the initial swipe. They'll actually get James for the foul. That's James' second. And he, like Hubbard, 2 of the best perimeter defenders for Taylor, now each have 2 personal fouls. So the first basket of the second half goes to Bethel. And Trevion Cruz trying to make his first free throw of the night, and he finally does. The first one was an air ball, and then he missed the last 2 and weren't really close. But he makes the 3-point play here, and a nice start for Bethel after missing 3s on their opening 2 tries. They've trimmed their deficit down to 1, 54 seconds into the second half. A 36-35 Taylor lead. They go from right to left in white. Bethel defends man-to-man in blue. Far sideline, Degenkolb. Left side screen, Hagelin. Foreman comes out to hedge. Hubbard around the arc, near sideline, Robinson. Left block, inside the arc to Hagelin with 5. Will go to work on Foreman. Spins, trying to go up and under. That pass intercepted by Cruz. That's his 7th steal. He'll accelerate. Robinson puts that shoulder in, and Ryan will be called for the foul. That's Ryan's second foul for Taylor. So 5 different Trojans, each with 2 personal fouls. McLeod, Hagelin, Hubbard, and Robinson. 4 of the 5 on the floor right now for Taylor. Covington to give Bethel the lead with a corner 3. That one is long. Cruz had it. It was tapped out of his hands as Covington has missed 3 straight 3-point tries after making his second. 90 seconds into the second half, Taylor still with a 1-point lead at 36-35. They look for their first points since halftime. Robinson trying to give it to him. 3-point try, and that one's perfect. He holds up 3 fingers to signal the 3-point make to his bench, and Robinson has got 12. When Ryan gets that look in his eye and is starting to look that way, he is a dangerous, dangerous young fella. And Taylor up by 4. Cruz, far sideline, defended by Hubbard. Right-hand bounce to the top of the key, and Foreman wants to take Hagelin. Drives in, up and under move. Right-hand hook, good one from Foreman. He faked to the left, got Hagelin to bite, and went back to a little hook with a right hand. He's got 7. And it's back to a 2-point Taylor lead as Fisher trails Robinson in the backcourt. Robinson now turning on the Jets as he works it up the right sideline and calls out the play. Bouncing to Hagelin, off to McLeod. 1 dribble, fakes the handoff, and McLeod will try to take Fisher off to the rim. Cruz tipped it. Robinson contested 3. That one just long, even though it was straight on. Rebounded by Cruz. Another board for him. That's his 7th to go along with those 6 steals. A transition 3 is good over his teammate Foreman. First 3 try for Trevion Cruz tonight, and now he's got 8. 6 here in this second half so far, and quickly. And Bethel has taken the lead back. They're up 40-39 with a quick start to this second half. Almost 3 minutes into half 2. Hagelin, right side circle, far sideline, Degenkolb. Jabbing and driving baseline right. Fisher cuts him off, trying to wrap it inside. It's turned over and stolen by Cruz up to Covington. Here's Hubbard tracking back. Covington goes in, met at the rim, and Covington lays it in with a right hand. A blistering start here for Bethel to start. They've taken a 3-point lead at 42-39. A 10-3 start and a timeout desperately needed by the Trojans as the Bethel reserves come exploding off the bench with jubilation, and rightfully so, as they have outscored Taylor to start this second half by a 10-3 margin. 30-second timeout. We'll pause momentarily.
What limits you? Too small, too old, insecure, broken. You have no limits. Rethink your limits.
A rough start for the Trojans. 3 minutes and 5 seconds into the second half. Bethel's outscored them 10-3 to start. Taylor just 1 of 3 from the floor here in the second half so far. Their only basket, a Robinson 3. Bethel shooting much better. Degenkolb drives up and under to the corner. Hubbard will tee up a 3 ball and hit that one from the right corner. Second 3 of the night for Hubbard. His second half scoring. That ties the game at 42. And a big 3 from the freshman Hubbard. As 3 reserves for Taylor jog to the scores table. Cruz to Fisher between the circles. Wanted to give it back to Cruz. Now off to Foreman outside the arc. Pocket pass. Cruz took his eyes off of it, and it'll bounce out of bounds. Cruz with a nice backdoor cut. An even better pass from Foreman, but Cruz took his eyes off of it and bounced up off of his shoulder and went out of bounds. Robinson, Hagelin, McLeod exit. Crow, Miranda, and Pena come in for the Trojans. They join the starters, Hubbard and Degenkolb, who remain. Fisher guarding Miranda softly in the backcourt. Now Lutz will pick up the sophomore point guard. Miranda to the front court. Taylor from right to left and white with the ball tied at 42. Almost 4 minutes into the second half. Miranda takes the pass from Pena. Now Pena sets the right side screen. Miranda trying to turn the corner. He accelerates outside to Crow. Hit 2 first half threes. He drives in left-hand scoop. No good! And there's Hubbard with the follow jam and the foul! Look at Jason Hubbard. Sky, and he is turned up right now. Goodness, Jason Hubbard. And that's the third on the sharpshooter, Ryan Lutz, as Jason Hubbard just dunked on everyone and their mama to add the and one. Yep. So how about Hubbard goes on a personal 6-0 run. And Taylor with a 3-point lead. Woo-hoo. Well, the man in high jump, 6-8 for nothing. Cruz blows in right by him and will draw Bethel back to within 1. 10 for Travion Cruz, 8 here in the second half. After a 2 for 7 shooting half in the first half, Cruz has turned it on here in the second. He's 3 for 3 to start. 1 point lead for the Trojans. Degenkolb trying to split Foreman, backs away as Foreman crouches on him. Lutz now double teams Degenkolb in the corner. Degenkolb turns, got in, kicking to the corner. Pena 3. Nope, long. It'll bounce up off the basket support and go back to the Bethel Pilots. So that'll bring us to a media timeout. 5:32 to go in the second half. Taylor with a 1-point lead, 45-44 here on the Trojans Sports Network.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than thinking about retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, we agree, and we'd like to help. Your local Edward Jones financial advisors, Ryan Jones, Mark Sieglin, and Rob Sisson, can help you get started today. They are proud corporate partners of Taylor University Athletics. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
$15:32 to go here in the second half. Taylor with a 1-point lead over number 23 Bethel as they've been outscored by 3 here in the second half, 12-9. For Bethel, it's Fisher, Cruz, Covington, Lutz, and Foreman. Their 5 starters. Taylor has 2 of their 5 starters out there, Hubbard and Degenkolb. Crow, Miranda, and Pena all join in on the fun. Tough one for Pena defending the big man Foreman. Covington top. Miranda guards him. Covington spins out to Cruz, and Covington traveled with it as he got a little crazy pirouetting down the lane. But good aggressive moves. Covington, a fun guy to watch. 6'8", 185. Doesn't look like he's had a fat food in his life. He is a well-built young man at 6'1", the senior out of Fort Wayne. So Taylor with another crack to build on their 1-point advantage as Miranda hands off to Degenkolb 5 minutes into the second half. Crow turns, driving on Fisher. The two Ohio guys got it. Head fake, got Foreman in the air. Turn around, fade away. No. Pena tried to knock it away from Foreman, who ripped it down with two hands. Covington quickly up the floor, off to Cruz. Fakes the three, now far sideline. Covington rises for a three, misses another one. And there's Crow for the defensive rebound with the big man behind him. That's 4 straight long misses for Trayvon Covington. And Taylor again with a 1-point advantage down to the other way. Miranda had the ball knocked away, and then Covington called for the reach, and that's his third. He and Lutz both have 3 personal fouls. That's one of their best scorers in Covington, one of their best 3-point shooters in Lutz, and Covington and Lutz will both exit for Bethel. Dehart and Hartman, I should say, in for Bethel. Robinson comes in for Taylor. He will take the spot of Mason Degenkolb. One-hand bounce from Robinson to Crow. Jabbing. Fisher won't give him any space. Now Crow will rise over Fisher. Bang, bang, bang! Evan Crow! 3 of 3 from deep. That's where all 9 of his points have come from. And a big triple for Crow, and Taylor back in front by 4, 48-44. 5.5 into the second half, and Crow starting to feel it from deep. Hartman left side high. Dehart off of a screen to the near sideline. Foreman, not a 3-point shooter as Pena defends. Cruz guarded by the long Jason Hubbard. Cruz down the right side of the lane, kick out to Hartman, who is a 3-point shooter. Straight on, off target, short, and there's another rebound for Jason Hubbard as Hartman misses his first 3-point try. Robinson crossing over to his right hand. Oh, he's got Dehart trying to figure out where he is. Back to Pena, 3 ball off the front rim as CJ still cannot dial it in from distance. Quickly before, here comes Bethel. Hartman, pocket pass down low. Crow got in, and he forced the ball out of bounds as he undercut Fisher as both Ohio natives go tumbling out of bounds. Both get up and are okay, but a good read there by Crow to put that hand in there and force what looked to be an easy transition pass to Fisher out of bounds as Hartman gets an explanation from one of our officials. Pena out, Hegeland back in for TU. 12-12 is a scoring margin here in the second half, and Taylor has reestablished their halftime 4-point lead. Still early on in the second half as Foreman will take the inbounds pass and hand it off back to Cruz. Mid-post left, Foreman against Hegeland. Hubbard tries to come in and help. Hubbard rips it out of his hands. Here comes Taylor the other way. Here's Robinson accelerating. Stops, waits to reinforce it. He'll just fire from 3. That one's short. Hubbard with the rebound amongst three blue jerseys, and Jason goes up and is fouled. And if that's on Foreman, that's his third. Nope, it's on Hartman. That's his second. Still troublesome for Bethel, but not as troublesome if it was number 3 on Foreman. So here's Hubbard to the line, has 6 second-half points, including that dunk and 1. 2 free throws here for the freshman. First one, good. That ties Robinson for team-high honors. Lutz comes back in to replace Fisher. So 3 of the 5 starters out there for Bethel. Cruz, Foreman, and Lutz. Hartman and Dehart, the non-starters for Bethel. Second free throw from Hubbard. Too strong off the back iron. And he's a 1-for-2 trip. He has 12. Robinson has 12. That leads the game. Cruz and Lutz each with 10 to lead Bethel. 5-point Taylor lead. Bethel with the ball from left to right in blue. Almost 7 minutes into the second half. Cruz tiptoeing, stole it, and it's intercepted by Miranda, who flips it up to Robinson. 4-on-1 break. Robinson all the way. He missed the left-handed layup, and Hubbard couldn't gather it in. Now a 2-on-1 break. Cruz to Foreman, who goes up. He's met at the rim by Hegeland, but they'll call the foul on Jake as Foreman went tumbling down in a mess underneath the hoop. Foreman tried to dunk it, and Hegeland was having none of that. The third on Jake, the third against Taylor in the half, and that is 2 big athletic guys, and Hegeland and Foreman racing to the other end of the floor and both jumping as high as they can. That was fun to watch. Foreman at 6'8", Hegeland at 6'7". Foreman just 1 for 1 from the line tonight. Puts that left foot back, fires, and rainbows in the first one. So that's the third on Jake. CJ Pena comes in to replace him, and again, he'll have the task of dealing with the bigger Paul Foreman down low. CJ gives up 25 pounds to Foreman. 43 in blue made the first one, and he will rainbow in the second. 3 for 3 from the line is Foreman for 9 points. A 30-second timeout taken by Bethel. That is their first timeout of the night. 3-point lead for Taylor with 13:06 to go, and a good one brewing here from Odell Arena. with 13:06 in the second half. This is Taylor men's basketball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Since opening in the late 1980s, the Maddox Family Dental Center has been focusing on providing the highest quality dental care for their patients. Children to adults can receive a full-service treatment to meet their dental needs. The Maddox Family Dental Center has 2 locations in Hartford City and Dunkirk and always welcomes new patients. The Maddox Family Dental Center, a proud corporate partner of Taylor University Athletics.
Just over 13 minutes remaining here in the second half. Cruz, DeHart, and Hartman all in the backcourt for Bethel. They're out there with Foreman and Lutz. The Trojans counter with Pena, Hubbard, Miranda, Crow, and Robinson, who runs the point. Hand off to Miranda, now off to Hubbard. Taylor with the ball in a 3-point lead at 49-46, just past 7 go. Here's a lob to the goal. Hubbard will lay it in on the feed from Ryan Robinson. Hubbard was the Ohio State high jump champion a year ago, and he's showing off the jumping ability tonight. Almost stolen by the Trojans. Woo-hoo. And then a foul the other way on Bethel as Miranda claps those hands emphatically. Or a turnover, I should say, against the Pilots as they fumbled it out of bounds on the far sideline. That's 14 points for Hubbard. He's got 9 here in the second half. 5-point Taylor lead, 12.5 to go in regulation. Trojans from right to left in white. Bethel defends man-to-man in blue. Miranda now off to Hubbard. To the near sideline, Robinson faking the drive. Hubbard spotting for a 3. He's been on fire in the second half. That one hit off short. 2 of 5 from distance is Hubbard. Up the floor, Bethel comes to Cruz. Robinson defends him. Cruz wants to back him down. Up top to Lutz. Miranda crouches him. Here comes DeHart driving, goes in. He lost the ball on the take, and it goes out of bounds off of DeHart's knee and back to Taylor. So DeHart will exit for Bethel. Dominic Jenko comes in to replace him. Degenkolb jogs to the scores table for Taylor. He replaces Jason Hubbard, who has been spectacular here in the second half. 14 points, 6 rebounds on 5 of 9 shooting. And, of course, the monster putback and 1 jam session. Hartman will guard Robinson in the backcourt, who walks it with a left-hand bounce, now jogs as he crosses the timeline. Robinson will give off to Miranda, who comes to get it. Crow over Cruz for another 3. That one's short, and he'll bounce on the right side, not rebounded. Pena gets it, hangs in the air, and that is the 4th foul on Ryan Lutz as Pena just gobbled up his 7th carom. That's the 4th one against Bethel, but more importantly, it's the 4th one on the 3-point sharpshooter Ryan Lutz, and he'll have to go to the bench for the foreseeable future with 11:51 to go in our second half. Pena to the line, where he's 0 of 1 tonight. Taylor could really use these 2 free throws, and CJ hits the first. Trayvon Covington in to replacing Lutz. So Covington has to be careful. He's playing with 3 personals. Foreman still out there with the 2 personals he had in the first half. CJ hit the first. He switches home the second. First 2 points for Pena tonight, and Taylor takes a game-high 7-point lead with 11:50 to go in the second half, up 53-46 on number 23 Bethel. Covington, Jenko, near sideline. Hartman will not take the left side Cruz screen. Good bump, and they'll get Degenkolb for the bump on the attack from Hartman down to the right baseline. Second on Mason, 4th one against the Trojans. On a good aggressive take there by the former Huntington Forester, Kyle Hartman. And Degenkolb will get an explanation from one of our officials. Shot clock sets to 20. You can hear Taylor head coach Josh Andrews barking out instructions across from us. Hartman's got to get it in quick, fires it all the way to the backcourt. It'll go over Jenko's head and out of bounds on a terrible inbounds play by Bethel and Kyle Hartman. He started to get those happy feet as the 5-second clock continued to get closer to 5, and then he just heaved that one out of bounds well over Jenko's head, and he's 6'3". So Taylor, can they capitalize on the opportunity here? They right now have a game-high 7-point lead with 11:35 to go in the second half. And they've got the ball going from right to left in white. Robinson, high pass, Pena turns, fakes the 3, trying to take Foreman off the bounce, pulls up from 15 feet. Too strong off the back rim, and Cruz will clean the glass with his 18th rebound of the night to go with 4 assists and 12 points. Cruz drives, near side Hartman, left-hand dribble off the arc, goes right into the lane, fade away from 5 feet, will dance off the rim. Cruz had it tapped away, and Hartman gobbles it in for Bethel, then he dribbled it off of his foot, but they'll say that he was tripped, and that's what forced the missed dribble. That's the foul on Vincent Miranda, his second, the team's fifth. And Hubbard will come back in for TU. 7 players for Taylor have at least 2 fouls. Hegeland has 3. He's been on the bench the last few moments. Cruz into Foreman. Fakes, drives on pin. It goes up. Reverse layup. Good. And that one was too easy there for Foreman. He's got 11. And Bethel back to within 5. 9 minutes into this, or 9 minutes gone here in the second half. And Hartman will kick the ball out of bounds. Here comes Hegeland back in for Taylor. So here's the thing to watch. Foreman has the 2 personal fouls. Jake with 3 for Taylor. So we'll see how quickly Taylor wants to go to Hegeland and vice versa when Bethel has the ball. Crow, Robinson, Degenkolb, Hubbard, and Hegeland. Nice drive from Degenkolb, and they get him for the travel on a head fake from the high right side. 12th turnover by the Trojans. That matches the turnovers accumulated by Bethel tonight. 10:53 to go, second half. Bethel with the ball. They trail by 5, 53-48. Taylor's outscored them by 1 here in the second half, and the Pilots are the 23rd ranked team in the country. They come in with 1 loss on the year last Saturday to number 2 IU East in a game that they led by 18. And there's the 3rd foul on Foreman as he went cutting through the lane. Nope, not on Foreman. Even worse, it's on Covington, and that's his 4th. So now Covington and Lutz, who were saddled with foul trouble in the first half, now picked up their 4th personal fouls here in this half, and now Covington will go to the bench in place of Luke Fisher. So there goes your best 3-point shooter in Lutz and one of their best scoring guards in Covington, all to the bench with 4 personal fouls, and there's 10:40 to go in the second half. James McLeod has come back in for Taylor. He's out there with Robinson, Hubbard, Degenkolb, and Hegeland. High middle screen, Hegeland. Robinson takes. Foreman comes to guard him. Robinson goes in right hand. Scoop around Foreman as he does slip that one home with a right hand. 14 for Ryan Robinson, and Taylor back in front by 7 on a pretty move by the crafty guard Ryan Robinson. Fisher free throwing out to Jenko. Baseline left was bumped by Degenkolb, and that's a bad foul for Mason to take because that's his 3rd. He got beat by Jenko and then Degenkolb hit him with a hip. 3rd one on Mason. 6th one against Taylor tonight. Here in the half, I should say. Mason 0 for here in the second half. He hasn't even taken a shot in our second half just yet. Does have the 1 assist. Into Cruz, head fake, blocked, and that still goes in as he went around both Hegeland and Hubbard. Cruz is a tough player. And he's got a team high 12 points, and that draws Bethel back to within 5. Robinson almost lost it, got it back over to Hubbard. Foreman comes out to guard him. Hegeland, mid-post left. As Robinson gets back to his feet, Hegeland goes against Fisher. He just abuses him right to the cup and puts it in with a soft right hand. 8 for Hegeland, his first second half scoring, and Taylor back in front by 7 as they answer each Bethel basket in the last few moments. Cruz trying to cross over and get away from Hubbard. Foreman wants to go down the lane, bangs, fade away shot, air ball. Fisher had it, fumbled it, and Hubbard will say, "Thank you very much, I'll take that one for my team." He'll give off to the far sideline and Robinson. 9:30 to go, second half. Taylor up by 7. Robinson, Foreman will poke the ball away on a hedge. Far sideline, Degenkolb looking Hegeland's way. Thought about a 3, driving on Cruz. Got into Cruz, out to Hubbard for 3. That one just spins off, and Fisher will easily gather it in on the near side corner. Jason just 2 of 6 from deep tonight. Jenko thought about attacking, back to Fisher, top of the key. Left wing, Foreman against Hegeland, goes in, bangs, up and under move. Hubbard will tie him up. That's a jump ball, and going back to Taylor. Great read by the freshman Jason Hubbard to collapse down on the spinning Foreman and get a tie up. Fisher will go to the bench for Bethel. He's replaced by Nick Pluta. First time we've seen Pluta here in the second half. 6'7" freshman from Springboro, Ohio. Bethel has got these guys that are 6'7" and 6'6" in bunches. They just bring a new one off the bench every time we turn around. 7-point lead for Taylor, matching their largest lead of the night. With 9 minutes to go here in the second half, Taylor goes from right to left. Jenko guards Degenkolb, holding over his head, right-hand attack, kick out, 18-foot jump shot, right wing McLeod. That one just off the back of the rim, and that is James's sweet spot, so a rare miss for the sophomore. Jenko runs the point with Covington on the bench, gives off to Cruz outside the free throw line. Foreman to Hartman. Degenkolb gives him space. Foreman thought about a 3, got Hegeland to bite, goes in. Foreman missed it, but they get Jake for the foul, and that will be the 4th one on Jake Hegeland. 7th one against Taylor. That puts Bethel in the 1-1, and Pena comes off the Taylor bench to retrieve Hegeland. So Hegeland, the 3rd different player between the two teams with at least 4 fouls tonight. He's the only Taylor player with 4. Covington and Lutz both on the Bethel bench with 4 apiece. Foreman 2 free throws, and rainbows in the first one, rattling it in. He is a lone bright spot from the line tonight for Bethel. He's a perfect 4 of 4. No one else that has taken a free throw has not had at least one miss for the Pilots. Pena back in for Taylor, replacing Hegeland. Foreman with 12 points, 7 here in the second half, trying to find 13. And he does, rainbowing that one in. Good-looking stroke for the big guy, Foreman. Out of Churubusco, Indiana, McLeod turns it over as Hartman steals it on the inbounds play. Hartman was guarding Robinson tightly in the backcourt. Now an opportunity for Bethel to make it a less than 5-point lead. Driving in Jenko, right-hand layup, but weaving in is good for Dominic Jenko. His first field goal. There's a foul on the other end by Hartman as he tried to get physical with Robinson. That's Hartman's third and the sixth one, excuse me. The sixth one against Bethel, I should say. 3-point Taylor lead, 8:21 to go second half. McLeod will get it in baseline right as both Pluta and Pluta and Hartman defend Robinson. Now Pluta comes to guard Degenkolb, who took the inbounds pass across the timeline to McLeod. And now he'll wait for reinforcements and one hand deals off to Robinson. Just about 8 minutes to go here in the second half. Taylor with the ball and a 3-point lead. They've only trailed once here in the second half at 40-39 and 42-39. Degenkolb, Hartman all on his back. Degenkolb rises for a three and hits it from the high right side. First triple taken by Degenkolb, and he buries it right from the perimeter right. Big triple for the Trojans as that gives them a 2-possession lead at 6. Cruz weaves to the trailing Pluta. Taylor wants to travel. Pluta goes barreling in, and he draws a block on the Trojans as the Taylor faithful across from a scream for a travel on the big fella Pluta. They call McLeod for the block. And that will stop play as we come to immediate timeout. Pluta will have some free throws when we come back. That's the 8th foul against the Taylor Trojan here in the second half. 7:43 to go in the second stanza. Number 23 Bethel trails Taylor 60-54 here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Your heart, well, your heart is everything to you and your body. And its favorite place to be is home. Marion General Hospital has been named a nationally accredited chest pain center, which is the highest accomplishment in cardiovascular care. We are proud to provide our community with a team of cardiac experts throughout MGH. From our ambulance and emergency room to our cardiovascular departments in partnership with our experienced local cardiologists and interventional cardiologists from St. Vincent's Medical Group. The same level of cardiovascular expertise in bigger cities at larger hospitals is available right here. Everyone has their expertise. At MGH, our expertise is your heart, bringing the best in the nation home to you. Your heart is in the right place at MGH.
Taylor shooting 8 of 21 from the field here in the second half, 3 of 12 from 3. Bethel just 1 of 6 from long range. They're 8 of 15 from the floor are the Pilots. 6-point lead for Taylor. Pluta to the line for 2. And Bethel has been just dreadful from the line side of points. They're 10 of 18 so far, and Pluta will rainbow in the first one. First trip to the line for Mr. Pluta tonight. This to make it a 4-point lead to match the lead by Taylor at the half. And nope, missed. Nobody boxed out Cruz, and he gets it in for Bethel. 5-point Taylor lead. Cruz, right side arc. Hubbard trying to force him to his left. That's where Cruz goes. Now Degenkolb switches. Foreman mismatch on Hubbard, spinning baseline, shoulders his way in, and he just muscles in for an easy 2 on the smaller Hubbard. 15 for Paul Foreman. And a foul called against Pluta here of Bethel. So Pluta had a little extracurricular there for Bethel. That's the 7th one against the Pilots, and the 2nd one against Pluta. Miranda in to replace Hubbard. Dehart in for Bethel. He replaces Jenko replaced by Dehart. So another missed free throw by the Pilots, but they're able to turn it into points. They're 11 of 19 from the line here tonight. They make it 11 of 20. That's their first miss from the line here in the second half after missing 8 free throws in half one. Taylor with the ball in a 3-point lead. Degenkolb got to the right elbow extended. The defending Cruz is right in his shorts. Degenkolb around a screen, trying to find help. Far sideline Crow, driving right around Pluta. Down low to Pena, fumbled with the ball, and it goes right into the arms of Dehart. An opportunity to tie or cut the deficit to 1 here for Bethel. With 7:01 to go in the second half, they trail by 3, 60-57. Cruz, high post to Foreman, left arc right on the floor, goes around Pena. Right-hand shot, good for 2 more as Foreman flexes and looks right back at C.J. Pena. Back-to-back buckets for the big fella Foreman. He's got 17 points tonight, 12 here in the second half, and he is feasting with no Hagelin down low for Taylor, who's got the 4 personals. 1-point Taylor lead. Robinson crossing over Hartman to his right hand, outside to Degenkolb. Wants his second 3 of the night, and that one off target right. And Foreman will foul Pena, and that's Foreman's 3rd, and he disagrees with it. And that's the 7th one against Bethel. A 1-and-1 opportunity for C.J. Pena. And a couple big free throws here for the freshman. So both teams in the 1-and-1 right now with 6:33 to go in the second half. Pena missed the first free throw. Mom encouraging him from across from us. The first one of the 1-and-1. Off the back rim, too strong, and another rebound there for Travion Cruz, his 10th, to go with 14 points and 6 boards. He has it right here. Bethel with an opportunity to take the lead. Cruz trying to give it to him. He can't. And then a nice rebound there by Pena to wrestle it away from the big man Foreman. 6:18 to go in regulation. Taylor with the ball, leading by 1. Robinson picks it up, jets it near side to Degenkolb. Fakes, drives, got to the league logo. Double team, down low to Pena. Reverse layup is good for CJ. First field goal for C.J. Pena, and Taylor takes a 3-point lead at 62-59 with 6 minutes to go in the second half. Hartman near sideline, around a Cruz screen, dribbling with that left hand. Foreman hands off to Hartman. Thought about a long 2, now backs it out. Robinson daring him to shoot that 3. Hartman inside the arc, gallops, bumps, Glasser, no. Pena trying to get high, getting to it. And they'll call a foul against Travion Cruz, and I can't believe it. I thought they were going to get Pena for an over-the-back violation. And no, they are going to get it on Pena. They get Pena for the over-the-back. It's a bad job by the referee down there. He emphatically pointed at Cruz, who was on the floor. CJ was nowhere near him. That's the first one on CJ. He goes out. So Trojans bring Hagelin back in, and a 1-and-1 here for Travion Cruz, who has been spectacular tonight, 14 and 10 and 6. He's also closing in on potentially 10 steals as well. He has been a wrecker tonight. And he switches in the first free throw. 13, make it 15 for him, excuse me. 2-point Taylor lead. Cruz trying to make it 1. And he bangs in the second free throw. After missing his first 3 free throws, he has made his last 3 in a row. Timeout on the floor. Taken by Bethel. It's a full timeout. They have a 30-3 fulls left. 5:46 to go, second half. Taylor clinging on to a 1-point lead over number 23 Bethel here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965, when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
Taylor being outscored at the line right now by 4, 13-9. But the big story, Taylor has struggled to shoot the ball here. They're at 45% in that first half. They are just 9 of 23 here in half 2. Bethel, meanwhile, 10 of 27 after going 41% from the floor in the first half. Evan Crow back in for TU. He's also out there with Miranda, Robinson, Degenkolb, and Hagelin to round out the Taylor 5. Cruz, Covington, Hartman, Dehart, and Foreman, the 5 out there for Bethel. Remember, Covington playing with those 4 personals. Taylor with the ball in a 1-point lead, 62-61, 5:35 to go, second half. Robinson kicks, far sideline, Degenkolb, 3 on the way is long. Hagelin had it, trying to tap it in the air, and it'll be ripped out of there by the smaller Dehart as Cruz tapped it away from Hagelin. An opportunity for Bethel to take their first lead in a long while. They trail by 1. Covington, left-hand bounce, fade away, free throw line jumper as short as he was falling away. Hagelin had it ripped away as Foreman tried to tap it away from him. 8th rebound for Jake, or his 5th rebound, excuse me. And Taylor with another opportunity to build on their 1-point advantage. Robinson calls out the play. High middle screen, Hagelin crossing over left hand. Robinson pulls up, left elbow extended. That might have been blocked by Covington, and it was. Hartman up the floor to Foreman, who outraces everybody. Then it goes off of his hands. He sends it back to the middle of the floor, and that's the wrong thing to do in that situation. And Crow will intercept it for Taylor. Robinson trying to hustle to the other end. Both Hagelin and Foreman now join the fun to our left. 4:45 to go, second half. Hagelin holds, top of the key. Taylor with a 1-point lead, 62-61. Right side screen, Hagelin. Robinson doesn't take it. They'll reverse it far sideline. Miranda with Hartman defending. Contested 3, Miranda. That one just off the right side of the rim. Would have been a big 3. Could have given Taylor a 4-point clearance. And now another opportunity for Bethel to regain the lead. They trail by 1. Cruz stops, pops 3, airballed. It'll go off of Degenkolb. No, it'll go off of Dehart. I thought that went off of Degenkolb. Instead, it went off of Dehart of Bethel. And Taylor again dodges another time, trailing here in the second half. Jason Hubbard back in for TU. He replaces Miranda. Covington goes to the bench. He's replaced by Lutz. So the 2 guys with 4 personal fouls for Bethel both switch places here as second-year head coach for Bethel, Ryan Lightfoot, not happy with that call in any way, shape, or form. 4:15 and counting, second half. Dehart defends Robinson tightly near sideline. He now maneuvers to the far side of the floor with Taylor attacking the basket to our right, clinging on to a 1-point lead. Degenkolb dribbling, perimeter right, Hartman defending. Degenkolb trying to turn the corner, stops, fades away from the left elbow, and it's swished! It's swished! Degenkolb buries it as Bethel screams for a travel. Degenkolb in double figures with 11, timeout Taylor, and the Trojans lead by 3, 64-61, here with 4 minutes to go here in our second half. Each team with 10 field goals here in the second half. Taylor 10 of 27, Bethel 10 of 21. But the 10th one by the Trojans, Degenkolb, gives Taylor a 3-point lead with less than 4 to go here in the second half. Out of the Taylor 30-second full timeout, Bethel from left to right in blue. Hubbard defends Cruz, goes right around him for a right-hand layup, and Cruz is just a bad man on a mission. 18 for Cruz, 16 here in the second half after going just 2 of 7 in the opening half, and that cuts the Taylor lead back down to 1. But Taylor's had the answer every time. Bethel has lost it. Degenkolb has it go off of his hand, and that's an over and back violation as the ball just slipped off of Degenkolb's hip. 15th turnover by the Trojans. Their 7th one of the second half. Bethel with 15 turnovers as well. They've committed 10 here in our second half. And another opportunity for Bethel to regain the lead. They have not led since they were up 42-39 and forced a Taylor 30-second timeout. Taylor with the 1-point lead here. Cruz scored the last time down the floor. Back to Foreman. Almost traveled. Goes into Hagelin. Back out to Cruz. Thinks about a 3. Now pulls the trigger from 3 and rolls that one in from the high right side. 3 in a row for Travion Cruz. He's got a game-high 21-19 in the second half. and a quick burst out of the timeout. A 5-0 run all by Cruz has given Bethel their second lead of the second half. And the first one since early on in the half. They lead by 2, 66-64 with 3:06 to go in the second half. Degenkolb drives around the end, draws 3 defenders over, kick out to Crow, tapped by Cruz. Crow got it back. The defender falls. Crow goes right in, missed the shot. Hagelin tried to put it back in, is tapped into the air, still loose on the floor, and Lutz will be there for Bethel. Near side to Cruz, thought about a 3. He scored the last 5 in a row for Bethel, and now the Pilots will slow it down, nursing a 2-point lead with 2:45 to go in regulation. Right side screen, Foreman. Hubbard fights through it. Foreman, an 18-foot jumper from straight on, off target left, and Robinson's the only one there for the rebound for Taylor. 2:34 to go, second half. Taylor with the ball from right to left and White. They trail by 2. It's the first time they've trailed here in a long, long while. Robinson to the corner and Hubbard against the shorter Cruz. Hubbard drives, try to wrap it around. Bethel looks for a travel. Hubbard steps through. His shot was no good. Hubbard cleans it up, puts it up, missed it again as Taylor looks for a foul across from us. So Bethel couldn't get a travel, Taylor couldn't get a foul as everybody upset with the officials. And Bethel will take a timeout as Covington screamed for it across from us. And DeHart finally looked up and noticed it. Full timeout taken by Bethel. They have gone on a 5-0 run out of the timeouts. When they were down by 3, they lead by 2 right now, 66-64 with 2:10 to go in the fourth here on the Trojan Sports Network. The Taylor Trojans have Robinson, Degenkolb, Miranda, Crow, and Hagel in the 5 out there. Hartman, DeHart, Cruz, Foreman, and Lutz. The 5 out there for Bethel. Pilots on a 5-0 run. Cruz with the ball has scored the last 5. And they've taken a 2-point lead, 66-64, as we approach 2 minutes to go here in the second half. Cruz wanted to post up Miranda, now takes it right side circle. Cruz faking to his right, whips it to the near sideline, and DeHart. Degenkolb switches him to 7 to shoot. Hartman guarded by Robinson with 5, with 4, with 3. Hagelin switches down low to Foreman. Mismatch on Robinson, and they get Ryan for the reach-in, and Foreman completes the shot and gets fouled. Third one on Robinson, 10th one against Taylor in the half, and a quick 7-0 run here by Bethel out of the timeout. They flipped a 3-point deficit into right now a 4-point lead, and Foreman will try to make it a 5-point advantage. Taylor had an opportunity to push their lead to 10 a couple different times in the second half. Were unable to do so. Foreman to complete the and one, and perfectly does. It's been the Foreman and Cruz show here tonight for Bethel. A timeout on the floor, a 30-second one for Bethel. We will keep it here. But it's been all Cruz and Foreman. Foreman with 20 points, Cruz with 21. So they've accounted for 41 of the 68 points here for Bethel tonight. And again, Foreman doing all this mostly in the second half after playing just 12 minutes in the first half. He has scored 15 of his 20 here in the second half. Cruz has scored 19 of his 21 here after halftime as well. Taylor scoring a little bit more balanced. They have 3 double-figure scores. Same thing for Bethel. Lutz with 10, but he hasn't scored since the first half and has not taken a shot here in the second half as well. Again, his playing time limited with his 4 personal fouls. Robinson and Hubbard each leading the way for Taylor with 14. Degenkolb with 11. Crow with 9. Hagelin with 8. McLeod with 1, and Pena with 4. But a whole slew of guys, 6 in total for the Trojans, have at least 3 personal fouls. Covington and Lutz each with 4 for Bethel, but Covington on the bench right now. We've not seen him in a long while since Cruz has taken over. 7-0 run here by the Pilots. The last bucket for the Trojans gave them that 3-point lead at 64-61 on a Degenkolb fadeaway. They're down here 5, 69-64. They need a bucket in the worst way possible. Crow trying to jab on Lutzel, drive to the far sideline, firing away as Miranda's three. That's an air ball from the corner. And there's Cruz for another rebound. That's his 13th rebound of the night. That leads the contest. So he's the game's leading scorer and leading rebounder. He has 6 assists, and he has at least 8 steals as well. Cruz has just filled it up every way possible. Hartman drives in. His layup is good. Robinson called for the foul, and it's all Bethel right now. They're on make it a 10-0 run, and they flipped a 3-point deficit into a 7-point lead in just a matter of moments. So Hartman to the line for an and one. But he has been terrible from the line tonight. He made his first one, has missed his last 3. And that bucket was his first one of the second half. He'll try to complete the and one just like Foreman did a little bit ago. And nope, woefully short off the front rim. He's missed 4 in a row from the line. And Taylor down 7 with a minute 13 to go. They need a basket and they need it quickly. Degenkolb rising 3, front rim short, bouncing off. Hartman there for the rebound. And now the time, the enemy of the Trojans. Bethel are already in the double bonus, so Taylor can foul if they want to. Cruz far sideline, Miranda and Degenkolb double team to the timeline, and Hartman. Robinson trying to foul Hartman, cannot. And then a poke from behind by Miranda on Cruz. That's his 3rd with 56.5 seconds to go here in the second half. Cruz to the line for 2, where after missing his first 3 free throws of the night, he has made his last 3 here in this all in the second half. Cruz had 4 steals at halftime. He's got to be close to 8. And he now has made 4 in a row from the line. 22 for Cruz in his first season at Bethel. On the roster, I should say, he started this big run for the Pilots. He makes both. He's got 23, and it's a 12-0 run here for Bethel. 50 seconds to go. Robinson drives, right-hand prayer off the glass, bounces in. Timeout, Taylor. 16 for Robinson. Taylor back to within 7. A full timeout for the Trojans. They have 1 left, trailing 73-66 here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Greek's Pizzeria in Upland opened its doors in December of 2017. Over the years, there have been more than 140 Greeks opened across the country, with 24 Indiana locations. When it comes to pizza, Greeks offers customers the option to create their own pizza or to try one of Greek's specialized pizzas. Greeks uses fresh, homemade, hand-tossed dough, Greek's Italian sauce, select blended cheeses, gourmet toppings, and the same method of preparation since the first restaurant opened in 1969. The kitchen can also whip up a sandwich served on fresh French-style bread, or it can put that sandwich into a pizza shell wrap. Customers can also add breadsticks or French-style bread as a side item. Greeks also offers a selection of salads and assorted dressings as well. Greeks is located just off Main Street in Upland and is a proud supporter of Taylor University Athletics. Greek's Pizzeria. It's our taste.
Bethel has outscored Taylor 12-2 over the last handful of minutes. Taylor went up 64-61 on that Degenkolb turnaround jumper, and then Bethel ripped off a 12-0 spurt. A 2-point shot by Robinson has drawn them to within 7. They need a steal here as Lutz will run the baseline into Cruz. McLeod and Hubbard will foul him. It's on James. That's his 4th. And Cruz will go to the other end for 2 free throws as Bethel in the double bonus. The Pilots shooting a great 14 of 26 from the floor here in the second half. The Trojans just 11 of 33. As Bethel closing in on 43% shooting from the field for the game after being 41% in the first half. And then Cruz will miss the first free throw short. Again, he missed those first 3 free throws. Actually, his first free throw of the night was an air ball. He had made 5 in a row and then missed that one short. Second one, long and right through. 24 for Cruz, timeout on the floor, full timeout. Bethel will take it with him. 74-66, the lead for number 23 Bethel with 47 3/10 of a second remaining here in our second half.
Your heart, well, your heart is everything to you and your body. And its favorite place to be is home. Marion General Hospital has been named a nationally accredited chest pain center, which is the highest accomplishment in cardiovascular care. We are proud to provide our community with a team of cardiac experts throughout MGH. From our ambulance and emergency room to our cardiovascular departments in partnership with our experienced local cardiologists and interventional cardiologists from St. Vincent's Medical Group. The same level of cardiovascular expertise in bigger cities at larger hospitals is available right here. Everyone has their expertise. At MGH, our expertise is your heart, bringing the best in the nation home to you. Your heart is in the right place at MGH.
Bethel on a 13-2 run. It was a 12-0 run before that Robinson layup and then the Crews free throw just now. But Bethel really had an opportunity to blow this thing wide open. They're shooting just 61% from the free throw line tonight. They've missed 11 free throws, and they normally came in at a 72% free throw shooting team. Taylor with the ball, down 8. They go from right to left and white with 43 seconds left in the second half. Crow thought about a three, far sideline. Degenkolb double teamed as Hartman collapses on him. Degenkolb drives, extra step to greatness, left hand finger roll, good. So Taylor down by 6, 74-68. Crews near sideline. Crow tried to back tap it. He gets called for the reach in. Second on Evan. 2 more free throws upcoming here for Crews. The shot by Degenkolb gives him 13 tonight. Mason with 7 of those coming here in the second half. So here's Travion Crews. 6 of 10 from the line tonight. Again, came in as an 88% free throw shooter, and he swishes the first one here. 25 for Crews. He has been flirting with a triple-double and even a quadruple-double tonight. Leading scorer, leading rebounder, leading assist man with 6, leading rebounder with 13. He's also racked up close to 8 steals. Robinson, deep 3 around a Foreman hedge. Rainbow 3 good from Robinson. 71-76, the Taylor deficit. Crews back behind the back dribble. They get Pena on the reach-in. There's 19 for Robinson. And Taylor could really use a couple free throw misses here from Crews like he gave them back in the first half. Down 5 with 22 4/10 of a second left. But Crews will not abide as he swishes in the first one. Crews and Foreman have done the damage tonight. 27 for Crews now, 20 for Foreman. And they've done their best work here in the second half as Crews makes both. He's got a game-high 28. And Taylor back down by 7 with 20 seconds left in regulation. Robinson near side, stops. Crossing over to his left hand, trying to get away, and a reach-in called by against DeHart. That 12-0 run is what flipped the script here for Bethel. 8th foul against the Pilots. First on DeHart, 1-1 for Robinson. This is Ryan's first trip to the line tonight. But a 5 in a row for Crews started that 12-0 run, and they haven't looked back since. Robinson makes the first free throw. He's got 20. That leads the Trojans in scoring. And again, tries to make it a 5-point ball game. And he will not. That one rolls off the rim. Crews with the rebound. As he tried to pass it away, he was fouled by either Crow or Hubbard of Taylor. That's on Evan. It's his third. And 2 more free throws here for Crews with 14.5 seconds left in regulation. And Bethel leading by 6. That 12-0 run flipped to what was a 3-point deficit into a 9-point lead. Crews makes the first and the second. He's got 30. 28 here in the second half. DeHart almost stole the inbounds pass, almost ran into a young lady just trying to walk down the stairs. 80-72, the Bethel lead with 14 1/10 left to go in regulation. Crow in the backcourt to Robinson as DeHart defends. Robinson racing to the front court, whipping it near side to Crow. He'll fire from 3, and that's off the back rim. Pena with the rebound with 6, turnaround jump shot. Rainbows in. But it's going to be too little too late for the Trojans. They get it into Crews. And a big close of the game here for the Pilots. Taylor was up 64-61 after the turnaround jumper from Degenkolb. They get outscored by a margin of 19-10 to close the game, and Taylor loses tonight by 6 points, 80-74. Here to drop to 0-1 to start Crossroads League play. And we'll come back with the Ivanhoe's postgame show after this commercial break here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Join the Trojan Club today and support Taylor student-athletes 12 months a year. The Trojan Club has 6 different levels of membership for you to choose from. You can join for as low as $100, all the way up to the athletic director level for $1,500. Each level receives premiums, complimentary season tickets, as well as gifts from the athletic department. Members also receive special recognition during halftime of the annual Silent Night game. In recent years, members have helped supply the funds for a sports information position, purchasing equipment for teams and the athletic training staff, and providing broadcasts of Trojan athletics, like the one you're enjoying right now. With the support of alumni and friends, the Taylor combination of spiritual growth, outstanding academics, and a highly competitive intercollegiate athletic program can continue. To join, call 765-998-5311 or log on to athletics.taylor.edu and search Trojan Club. The Trojan Club, supporting Taylor University's student-athletes.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than thinking about retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, we agree, and we'd like to help. Your local Edward Jones financial advisors, Ryan Jones, Mark Sieglin, and Rob Sisson, can help you get started today. They are proud corporate partners of Taylor University Athletics. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965, when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
Back inside Odell Arena, the upset bid for the Taylor Trojans falls short against number 23 Bethel tonight, as the Pilots use a convincing 12-0 run to flip a 3-0 deficit into what would be a 73-64 lead. They would not relinquish as they close the game after trailing by 3 points on that Degenkolb jump shot to fall behind 64-61. They outscored Taylor 19-10 to close the game tonight, and they win by a final of 6 points tonight, 80-74. The two big stories for Bethel, the two guys that just walked out of the locker room for the Pilots. They were led in scoring and rebounding by the superstar Travion Cruz. He had a game-high 30 points. He also had a game-high 14 rebounds. He also had a game-high 6 assists. And he also had a game-high 6 steals, as Cruz was a man-possessed, particularly in the second half, as he scored 28 of his game-high 30 after halftime. Cruz was 8 of 15 from the floor, 2 of 3 from 3, and 12 of 16 from the line after missing his first 3 threes, as Foreman is greeted by some of his many fans across from us. So after missing those first 3 free throws, Cruz finished the night 12 of 13 from the line. Great shooting in the second half by Bethel. They shot 54% after halftime. They were just 2 of 8 from 3, and they made after missing 8 free throws in the first half, going 5 of 13. They went 18 of 21 from the line after the half. Taylor, meanwhile, shot 45% from the floor in the opening half. That fell to 38% after halftime. They were 5 of 19 from 3 and 5 of 8 from the free throw line tonight. Final shooting numbers for Bethel: 47% from the field, 29% from 3, and a below average 68% from the line, but they made it where it counted, and when it counted, 86% from the line after halftime. Taylor, meanwhile, was 41% from the field, 31% from 3 for the game, and they also shot below their average from the free throw line. They were 67% from the stripe tonight. Other double-figure scorers for Bethel: they got 20 from Paul Foreman, including 15 in the second half, and they got 10 from Ryan Lutz. All 10 of his came in the first half after he was plagued with foul trouble. Other scorers for Bethel: Luke Fisher with 4, Trayvon Covington with 7. He was plagued with foul trouble all night. Nick Pluta had 1, Kyle Hartman had 5, Jared Dehart missed the only shot he took on the night, and Dominic Jenko had 3. For the Trojans, they had 3 in double figures, led by Ryan Robinson's 20. Jason Hubbard had 14, including 9 in the second half. Ryan got 11 of his after halftime. And Degenkolb finished with 13. He had 7 in the second half. Evan Crow led the way off the bench for Taylor with 9. Jake Hageland had 8 on 3 of 4 shooting, but he also, like a lot of players tonight, was plagued with foul trouble. He had 3 fouls in the contest. Actually, he finished with, I had him down for 4. He only had 3. But he was really struggling to find some time out there, particularly when Foreman got going. Foreman got going when Hageland went to the bench, and that really kind of did Taylor in tonight. McLeod had 1 starting for Taylor. Miranda with 3 off the Taylor bench. Emmanuel Boitin did not score tonight. He played in just the first half. And Pena finished with 6. He also had a team-high 10 rebounds for I believe that's CJ's first double-figure rebounding night of his career. The leading rebounder was Travion Cruz, who stands at 6 feet tall. He had a game-high 14 rebounds. He had 11 defensive rebounds. And he comes in as the leading defensive rebounder for the Bethel Pilots on the season. The leading assist man for the Pilots was Cruz with 6. Leading assister for Taylor was Degenkolb with 4, but he also had a team-high 6 turnovers. The Trojans turned it over 15 times in the game, including 7 in the second half. That led to 7 Bethel points. The Pilots turned it over 15 times as well, 10 times in the second half. But the problem for Taylor was they converted 0 points off of any miscues by Bethel tonight. Fast break points much in favor of the Pilots at 11, 16-5. Points in the paint in favor of Bethel as well, 36-28. Second chance points on 10 offensive rebounds. Taylor had 5. 7 offensive boards for Bethel. They had 2. The Taylor bench outscored the Bethel bench 18-9, but Cruz and Foreman combined to score 50 of their 80 tonight from the starting guard spot and the starting forward spot tonight for the Bethel Pilots. We'll talk about that and more when we are joined by the head coach of the Trojans, Josh Andrews, after this commercial break here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Your heart, well, your heart is everything to you and your body. And its favorite place to be is home. Marion General Hospital has been named a nationally accredited chest pain center, which is the highest accomplishment in cardiovascular care. We are proud to provide our community with a team of cardiac experts throughout MGH. From our ambulance and emergency room to our cardiovascular departments in partnership with our experienced local cardiologists and interventional cardiologists from St. Vincent's Medical Group. The same level of cardiovascular expertise in bigger cities at larger hospitals is available right here. Everyone has their expertise. At MGH, our expertise is your heart, bringing the best in the nation home to you. Your heart is in the right place at MGH.
Greek's Pizzeria in Upland opened its doors in December of 2017. Over the years, there have been more than 140 Greeks opened across the country, with 24 Indiana locations. When it comes to pizza, Greeks offers customers the option to create their own pizza or to try one of Greek's specialized pizzas. Greeks uses fresh, homemade, hand-tossed dough, Greek's Italian sauce, select blended cheeses, gourmet toppings, and the same method of preparation since the first restaurant opened in 1969. The kitchen can also whip up a sandwich served on fresh French-style bread, or can put that sandwich into a pizza shell wrap. Customers can also add breadsticks or French-style bread as a side item. Greeks also offers a selection of salads and assorted dressings as well. Greeks is located just off Main Street in Upland and is a proud supporter of Taylor University Athletics. Greek's Pizzeria. It's our taste.
Back here inside Odell Arena, Ivanhoe's postgame show. Rick Johnston joined by the head coach of the Trojans, Josh Andrews. You led 64-61, and then Bethel goes on a 12-0 run, sparked by 5 in a row from Travion Cruz. What went wrong down the stretch for your guys?
We just had it snowballed on us. We couldn't get stops. You hear me say it all the time. Missed a few assignments. Didn't meet assignments there. Turned the ball over. Didn't make shots. Had some decent looks in that stretch, and they didn't go. It was a bad time to go cold and not take care of the ball. It's winning time, so you got to make the right plays. They made more right plays than we did.
How tough was it from a coaching and a rotation standpoint with not only your guys picking up a bunch of fouls in the first half, but they had big name guys, Covington, Lutz, and Foreman come to mind in the first half, with a lot of fouls. How much that make it tough for you to not only make sure your guys didn't pick up a bunch of fouls and have to go to the bench,
Sure.
but also from a matchup standpoint with really not really sure maybe who they would bring in there, since they probably don't have that many guys get into foul trouble like they did tonight.
Yeah, that's part of the game, though. You got to use your guys and manage the game, and they did a good job. And there might be a couple rotations I'd like to get back. You don't always manage it perfect, but it comes down to getting stops and making the right play, making some big shots, and we just have not. You look at our body of work in 6 losses. Obviously one's at the buzzer and one's in overtime, and then 3 of the other 4 games with 5 minutes to go, it's a 1 or 2 possession game. We're just not closing it out, and I gotta help us get that right.
Is there a way you can do that without being in a game? I mean, it's tough. It's really kind of tough to make those situations in practice because it's just you guys, the gym's empty,
Sure.
and everything like that. How do you work on that?
We're running out of time to use early season games to help learn that, and some of that's personnel and the system on the floor and those things, but the rest of it is we just got some guys that can take that game over, have done it before, and it's not for lack of desire and working at it and those kind of things. Our guys are great guys. They're working at it. It's just we're not coming out on the right side of the scoreboard, and staff and we got to help get that right.
A couple guys that I thought performed well for stretch tonight. Jason Hubbard had 14 points, 8 rebounds. He also had that put-back dunk where he jumped on top of everybody. What's it like to see him kind of evolve these last couple of weeks? He really, at times, is kind of limiting those freshman plays that you see a lot out of guys his age.
Yep, and he just needs more time. He's a guy's freshman. You got to, they're going to do some things that, they're not used to being in that game or that long of a game or the level of skill and depth of an opponent. But Jason's worked his tail off. All that freshman group has. They're great guys. So very proud of him. He made some big plays for us tonight. He'll keep getting better.
We've been kind of waiting for an Evan Crow shooting night. I know he went 3 of 9 overall, but he was 3 of 5 from 3. He made his first 2. What's it been like to see him finally get that ball, go through the hoop, and kind of string a couple together like he did tonight?
That's big for us. We think we're a shooting team, and guys are obviously giving Ryan and Mason a lot of attention, but they got the ball in their hands, so we need that pitch. We need guys to shoot it in, make big plays for us, and Ev certainly has that capability, so glad he got a few to go through, and we need to do it in a higher volume.
You get some time off. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. We'll talk to you a week from Saturday when Spring Arbor's here in town. You got Marion in between, so good luck.
Yep.
Have a good Thanksgiving. Good luck against Marion next week.
Thanks, Rick. We appreciate it.
That's the head coach Josh Andrews joining us here on the Amados Postgame Show. We're back to wrap it up after this.
Your heart, well, your heart is everything to you and your body. And its favorite place to be is home. Marion General Hospital has been named a nationally accredited chest pain center, which is the highest accomplishment in cardiovascular care. We are proud to provide our community with a team of cardiac experts throughout MGH. From our ambulance and emergency room to our cardiovascular departments in partnership with our experienced local cardiologists and interventional cardiologists from St. Vincent's Medical Group. The same level of cardiovascular expertise in bigger cities at larger hospitals is available right here. Everyone has their expertise. At MGH, our expertise is your heart, bringing the best in the nation home to you. Your heart is in the right place at MGH.
Back inside Odell Arena for the final time here tonight as the Trojans fall to number 23 Bethel by a final of 80-74. The Trojans now sit at 2-6 on the year. Bethel improves to 9-1. Our player of the game goes to Bethel's Travion Cruz. I apologize. He had a game-high 30 points. He had a game-high 14 rebounds, a game-high 6 assists, and a game-high 6 steals. That's what we call stuffing the stat sheet. Well done from him. He was a fun player to watch, and he played almost 37 minutes tonight. After really struggling to find his stroke early on, he had just 2 points and was 2 of 7 in that first half. He finished the night 6 of 8 from the floor in the second half, and all 3 of his 3-point tries and his 2 makes came after halftime. As you mentioned with the head coach of the Trojans, Josh Andrews, Taylor off for the rest of Thanksgiving break. They will be back on the floor next Tuesday, a week from tonight, when they travel down to another top team hoping to make a national title run. That is the Marion Knights down in Indianapolis on Tuesday. The Trojans will be back here a week from Saturday when they go back into Crossroads League play when they take on Spring Arbor. Special thanks to Kylie on camera and Caleb on the computer tonight. And our executive producer, as always, of the Trojan Sports Network is Cameron Andrew. Once again, our final score from here inside Odell Arena, Bethel, the 23rd ranked team in the country, uses a 12-0 run to flip a 3-point deficit into a 9-point lead. They close the game on a 19-10 burst, and they win tonight, defeating Taylor by a final of 80-74, outscoring the Trojans 48-38 in the second half. This has been a presentation of Taylor men's basketball here on the Trojan Sports Network. Have a great Thanksgiving. We'll talk to you a week from Saturday back here inside Odell Arena. This has been a presentation of Taylor men's basketball on the Trojan Sports Network. Good night from Upland, Indiana.